Hey there, welcome to this video today about the questions that I don't answer. This is probably the most important video that I want to do because of course this is the main question that people ask me to do. Why? Well, because when you are desperate, you want to be reassured. So you grab on to everything that you can, astrology, tarot, because you want some security. You want to know that you will be fine. But I bothered you with all these videos, with the previous videos about the history of the Cathars and their philosophy, because it was important for me to understand that the tarot is a tool for evolution. It is a door to look at yourself, of certain patterns that you have, or mechanisms or masks that are that you constructed at some point, that you build up in order to suffer less, of course, but maybe they don't serve you anymore. So this is very important. Why I don't read the future? There are several reasons to that. So first of all, because I believe that the future is not something fixed. It is something that, is the extension of your present moment. So, for example, if you are in a toxic relationship, your future is going to be something, probably not very happy. But if you decide, to look at yourself and maybe to realize why you are in a toxic relationship, what are the patterns behind it, codependency, fear of being alone, etc., then you will probably decide to leave that relationship that makes you unhappy, and your future will be very different. I have a personal experience I would like to share because I think it's very important. I broke up 5 or 6 years ago with my boyfriend, of course, and I was in this very depressive moment where I'm never gonna find love anymore. I'm gonna die alone, like Bridget Jones. I'm gonna be eaten by Alsatians as a spinster and so on. I'm never gonna find my second half, and all those thoughts, of course, all this negativity. And like every other human being, I grabbed on in my desperation to anything I could. And I asked a friend of a friend of a friend who knew a guy who did future readings, and literally at the other end of the world. And well, he foresaw exactly what I was thinking, so that I would never find love in my life, I would die alone, and I would probably get married, but it wouldn't last for more than 3 months. He also added "poor girl" in his audio. So I was very close to jumping out of the window at that moment, and I mean that literally. What is life without love? Why do you live? If it's not for having a family or just being important for someone, and all those thoughts, those are of course the moments where, and this is also why I couldn't do the cards for myself, it was exactly the moment of the moon. Everything that is in your shadow side, all those patterns that you don't see. I'm not lovable. I don't know. I'm not perfect enough. What other thoughts, there could be? Maybe I didn't do enough, maybe this, maybe that. It was definitely a toxic relationship, but it took me some time to realize that. So this guy really dragged me down, and I thought, okay, Celine, you know better than that. You do tarot yourself. So, this is your future, of course, because there is a certain magic to the cards. There is a dimension where all the souls are linked. We communicate with energies, and this guy picked up these energies. I'm not saying he was useless. He definitely had a channel there, and he connected with this energy that I was projecting, and therefore my future was like this. However, if I switch that, if I change that energy, then my future will change as well. So this was a certainty that I had. Of course, it wasn't done in an instant. It took me some time. It took me sessions of psychotherapy. It took me certain books that I read, like Women Who Love Too Much, for example, from Robin Wood, I think. And, you know, just working on yourself and on those, you know, I thought, why am I not lovable? You know, what ideas do I have? Why do I think like that? And also, I kind of reconsidered, what is romantic love for me? What importance does it have in my life? What is a second half? You know, why do I need someone to complete myself? So of course, you know, working on all that self-esteem, that self-love, and just, you know, thinking of what is romanticism anyway? You know, what cultural structures are behind all those thoughts, you know, that I need someone to be happy in my life. So this was, you know, of course it wasn't done in that instant, but I did switch that energy at that moment, like the magician, you know, number one, start with something new. And he has, you know, he takes out of his bag everything that he has, he puts it on the table, and he has that magic wand in his hand, kind of, you know, lifting it up to the sky, saying, I have the power to initiate something new. I have the power to start something new. And that was the shift of energy I had. This guy actually realized a couple of days later what he did. He called me and he was like, you know, checking if I was all right. He was kind of nervous. And I thought, yeah, you know, what responsibility you have when you draw cards. And you know, it is very dangerous, and people who come for drawing are not very skeptical people. They're usually people who come for help, so they will hang on to every word that you say, or they will you know, really believe what you say. And so it is very important for you to be very responsible with that. Another thing that I would never do is leave someone in a worse state than what they came in. You cannot have someone leave your space being more depressed. Your work, because they come for help, so your work is to help them. Your work is to lift their energy, for them to go home with a positive view or a spiritual teaching or something. But they have, or maybe even switch that energy with them if you can. So if the drawing doesn't do that, there are other ways, there are other exercises that you can do with the cards that can do that. So it is a very big responsibility. Another reason I don't do future readings is that I would program you. If I tell you that you will break up with your boyfriend, then of course you're gonna go home and you will look for every single word, for every single sock on the floor, for every single silence even, you know, to kind of, this is the reason why she told me. And so it's kind of like I put a chip into you, and that will make its work, you know, and you will probably break up, but not because this is the future, it's because I have programmed you for that. So if I tell you all the positive sides, you will be very happy, you will have no problems in your life. Well, obviously, this is not life. Life is a series of difficult moments. And it's the moment of crisis that make you grow. So I know it's easy to say, but yeah. Another reason why I don't do future readings is, for example, if you are in a lawsuit and I tell you you're gonna win, then you will probably lay back and say, well, I'm gonna win anyway, so why bother? But the reason why you win is probably because you are taking tough decisions, because you're fighting. And maybe you will stop fighting if you know that you will win anyway, and that will change the outcome. Yeah, so all those are the reasons why I don't do future readings. I had a friend also, for instance, coming. He asked me if he would get back together with his ex-girlfriend. Now, I am not in her head, and I am not in her heart, and I'm not God. I don't know. But I would turn the questions around. I would say, well, why did you break up in the first place? You know, which were the conflicts there? What was your responsibility in it? What can you change, or what can you change for your next relationship? So that's one thing. The other question is, for instance, why do you hang on to this relationship which apparently didn't work out, you know? Other question, for instance, why, you know, is it love? If it is really love, then you would let her free and be happy if she's happy. On the other hand, it can be a need. So what is the need behind the need? Is it, for instance, you know, fear of failure, fear of being alone? Is it pride? Is it pure ego because she left you? And so on. So there can be so many things in that moon, you know, that has to be freed, that has to be liberated, for you to understand and to evolve. The moon is a card of crisis, of course, so also of evolution. Another thing that I definitely don't do is kind of gossiping, or you know, people sometimes come and want to know, I want to know if he's unhappy. I want to know, you know, once that you broke up, does he have someone else, and so on. So that is gossiping, and I don't have permission of that third person to look into his heart or his head, to mix into his life. If he wants to do something, if he has a question, then he comes for a drawing. But if he doesn't, if I don't have the permission, then I don't do that. We're gonna start with the readings now. So we will discover all that throughout the drawings, which I will start now. So I'm sorry to have you know, spent so much time on all those videos that explain things, but I think it is important for you to understand how I work and why. So thank you very much for watching, and see you soon. Bye.